Did you ever come across a situation where you wanted to desperately talk to your spouse or a friend of yours about something that important happened in your life, and the person on the other hand is just scrolling or hanging on his mobile? How would you feel at that time? Today I'm going to talk something about the listening skills, or the 4 steps that parents need to know about how to become or how to enhance their listening skills, how to become a good listener. I'm going to talk about this. So stay tuned till the end of the video, and also hit the bell icon and subscribe to my channel, because you will be getting notified whenever I upload these insightful videos, which is going to become a game changer in your life as well. Coming back to this topic, as parents, we love our children, we cuddle them, we empathize them, we help them. Of course, all of us do that. But when I ask you, are we good listeners or do we listen to them? Perhaps the answer would be no from all the ends. We have been tuned to listen passively from our schooling, also the days when we were going to school. I don't know if you believe it or not, but I believe that I used to listen passively throughout my schooling, or all the classes, or most of the classes in fact. If you have the same experience, just let me know in the comment section whether you were a passive listener or not in your school days. Okay, so getting back, of course, all of us, we don't know exactly what ma'am was talking about, or all the words and the sentences were going above the head during our school days. And we've continued that same behavior, that same pattern, even in our parenting journey, which is absolutely crucial, because listening or being heard or being understood, this is the intellectual need of the child, and we are not letting this happen in our child's life. So this becomes very important for a child, and it's mandatory for a parent to become good listeners. Now, my mentor used to tell me, who is a good communicator? Who is a good communicator? The person on the stage becomes a good communicator when he is the best listener off stage. What do you mean by that? If the person on stage, if you want to become a good communicator, that means if you want the audience to listen to you, you should become the good listener when you're not on stage. Right? So this is very important, and we need to apply this in our parenting life as well. What happens if the person doesn't listen, or if you feel that, if the child feels that the parent is not listening, or any other person? Now, for example, now we are talking to our spouse and spouse is not listening. What does it imply, or what message does it give to our mind? We have to think about all these things. The first thing is, we feel that the person is useless. Why should I talk about my problems to a person who doesn't even bother, who doesn't even listen to me? And there's no use talking to this man or to this lady, because she doesn't even care about it, right? The same thing is happening even in the child's mind. The other thing is, it feels that the person is so rude. He doesn't even understand me. He doesn't even have time to or prioritize my life. He doesn't even think about me. How rude it is. So this is a message that the mind is giving about the person. So understand this in a parent's perspective and the child's perspective. What happens when the child is thinking about this? If the child is feeling that my parent is useless, or my parent is very rude in terms of listening, he is not listening to me, doesn't even understand me very well, how pathetic the condition or the relationship is going to end up when we have all these things in the mind, right? So think about that. Also, the person ends up having some arguments, because whatever communication is taking place, you are not having the right sequence. Maybe you don't know exactly what is happening. You don't have the idea what exactly the child has communicated, and you end up having arguments. And some disruptive relations also happen because of these things. When you're not attentive, when you don't pay attention, or when you don't listen to the person really well. The 4th thing is about trust. Usually when you don't listen to a person, the person feels that there's no trust. I mean, that trust is lost. So I understand that it is very, very important for a person to become a good listener. Now, coming to understand what active and passive listening is all about. I would like to give an idea exactly what happens when you become an active listener. Who is an active listener and who is a passive listener, and you get an idea exactly what do we need to do as parents to execute them or to follow these instructions and become good listeners. The very first thing is to understand the concept in depth. Whatever the child is talking, try to understand, go in depth to what the person is talking about. What is his intention? What exactly he means to say this? Understand him, his feelings, and his the traits, and also his behavior, or also some of the things like sensory acuities also, like for example the color, the discoloration of the skin, or sometimes the way he smiles. You can understand exactly how he feels, what his emotions are, and how he wants to express all these things. So whether it is an anger or whether aggressive, he is feeling very shy, or what is it like, what are the feelings that he has, you need to understand. And for that you need to go in depth, that is having eye contact, talking to him, even personally asking some questions. All these things will matter a lot. So you need to communicate. Whereas a passive listener is a person, usually like us, what we do is we think about what do we need to respond in return. Now when the child is talking, we pretend that we are listening, but at the same time we think at the back end what I should talk now, or what should I reply to this child now, right? This will be a passive listening, because you don't know exactly what is happening or what that child is feeling. You are not able to concentrate. So multitasking cannot be. The second thing is being present at that time. That is, active listener is a person who leaves aside all his work, all his chores, and then comes and listens to that person exclusively what he is talking. So passive listening is again getting into multitasking. Yes, I'm doing my work and simultaneously I'm listening to you as well. This cannot happen. You do not have eye contact. You are not able to see his expressions, his feelings and emotions also. So you cannot become an active listener when you are doing some multitasking. The third thing is to consciously make a choice that I want to listen. We become active listeners only when we have some complaints from the school saying that, okay, the principal has called me, and now I actively listen because I choose that I want to listen to what my child's principal is talking here, right? This is active listening. But at the same time, we don't choose to listen to our children when they randomly come and talk to us. We indulge in something else, or we don't even care what the person, we don't even understand, we don't know exactly what the child has spoken right now and is gone. So make a choice. That is, conscious choice is very important, and see that you just rely upon the topic that he is talking about and understand in depth what exactly he wants to communicate. The fourth point is paying 100% attention without having any judgmental thoughts. That is, usually what we do is we have this kind of prejudgmental notion, or sometimes some prejudices that, okay, this has happened because you have done this, or maybe that person is doing this because last time this has happened. These kinds of prejudgmental thoughts or talks will make the child feel insecure, doesn't want to talk to you further. He doesn't feel like expressing later on. He feels that, why should I talk? My mother is always criticizing me. My dad usually comes and he thinks ill about me. Why should I talk about all these things? He belittles me. So when these things are there, the child feels that, okay, there's no point talking to this man. As I said, how it implies or what message the mind gives to the person. So these things are happening. So we need to be mindful about all these things, and I want you to take a note of one small exercise that I want to give you. The small exercise, maybe you can do this in a couple of days, or maybe in the upcoming weeks ahead, inshallah. Just try to do this exercise. Consciously try to make a point where you are a good listener and where you are a passive listener, and now make a conscious effort that you want to become an active listener and pay full attention to what the child is talking and what the child is asking about. Now see the difference in your own life and your child's life. The child feels that yes, I am important, I am given significance in life, and the child feels that yes, I have to come and talk to you. That urge of talking begins in the child's life, and he feels that he gets a message that my mom is listening to me, and he feels, the child feels that okay, my mom cares for me. This is very important, and you have a very good bonding later on. Just find the difference in your life when you bring the small changes in your parenting journey. So wish you good luck, and also let me know in the comment section what is your experience once you start doing this or applying this in your life. I would love to read your comments and reply. Also, a last reminder to subscribe to my channel and also hit the bell icon so that we will be there always with you to support you and help you.